Well, hi everyone. My name is Jeff, and today the topic is letting go. So, this morning I ran for over 5 miles. It was a run type walk situation early in the morning to get my energy up, and I do run near a mini power spot near where I live here. I'm in a desert area. It's a little mountain that has a fair amount of power to it actually that I pick up on. And I was thinking, what is going to be my topic? Am I going to give a video today? And I just felt, yeah, I'm up for it. I got some energy and some ideas about this. And so I will be presenting it in the video. Letting go is a component, major component in being able, along with mindfulness practice and meditation and a bunch of other things that I've mentioned in previous videos and I'll bring up in this video also, in being able to go deeper into our practice, deeper into reality. In particular, when we going beyond thought, or at least slowing down thought. So there's different steps, different types of things we can do if we're interested in being able to go into higher awareness. When we do, when we meditate, what can be noticed when we slow down thought, and eventually it kind of, I've noticed, stops on its own, given that we're doing all the different, practicing all the different components in a balanced way, and we're strong, we're balanced, and then things start happening that are very interesting and a lot of fun. And I will continue to go over these things in these various videos, and I wanted to focus on letting go in this particular video, but like I said, it touches on the different other components that are very important, and be able to go deeper into our meditation practice and so on. But when we go deeper, there are subtle currents that have power to them. And it may take a while to notice it. Sometimes we may have a kind of sense of it that's happening in our meditation as we're going deeper. It can take a while. It depends on each of us and how we practice in our own unique kind of structure. But generally speaking, what I've noticed, at least in my own practice, and what I've noticed with others, that as we go deeper, these subtle currents eventually become more noticeable. And I'm bringing it up for a reason. When we start noticing it, it's actually very exciting. And sometimes when we just slightly notice it, we may end up actually stepping on it, not realizing that what we can do with it, and that it's very subtle, and that we have to really be aware. So, of course, mindfulness practice and meditation practice has a lot to do with being aware in any particular moment, especially when we're doing meditation practice. That's key. But then to take this a little bit further, in order to, once we notice these subtle currents, deepen our meditation at times, to be able to actually flow with it to an extent, the actual flowing and being able to do that and getting experience with that will take us deeper. And there's all sorts of things that come up as we go deeper in our meditation practice, for instance. I'm going to tie this in to mindfulness practice also. But just for the moment, the letting go is very instrumental in being able to flow with these subtle currents that we come across, among many other things. All types of kinds of interesting and knowledge can come to us, can be imparted to us. That's in play too as we go deeper. Also, the more likelihood of going into the happy and ecstatic and very all sorts of knowledge in the higher dimensions. These things are very possible. The higher dimensions I'm talking about are both the higher astral, which I'll go into more detail in other videos, maybe touch on it a little bit here, and also what's called the causal, the formless. that's where things really get interesting. That's where the intelligent light becomes more apparent as we go deeper. We start touching on to trickles of luminosity, and then luminosity gets bigger too. So all these things are really happy things, and portend that we can go deeper, and it gives us an opportunity to be able to do that and to make discoveries, which I'm very big on, the various discoveries we can make, which are endless really, as we go deeper into higher awareness. But so that's one aspect of letting go, and probably the impetus for this video. I'm going to tie it in when I'm running in the morning, for instance. There's a letting go that goes on there. It's a different kind of letting go. But I think the various ways that we practice on letting go is helpful in being in our meditation practice. There's a letting go that happens when we're doing our mindfulness practice. So when I'm running, I'm doing a type of mindfulness, being very mindful. It's not easy for me to run in the morning. And I learned many different things. I always learn something new every time I run in the morning, or even walking near a power spot. In this case, it's a mini power spot, something that I find to be very helpful, and something that is fun for me and excites me, and also I can absorb a certain amount of power, positive power, from these power spots, from these runs that I can use and act with power. Like creating this video, doing this video where I am involved with knowledge and power, all this very happy and positive, then it's something that you can pick up on when you see this video. So it's like a win-win situation. If I'm doing this video, I also, by the very act of doing it, elicits something inside of me that can come across in the video and also helps me. So it's a win-win situation when I do these videos, because it actually ups my power level to an extent, and something sometimes, a lot of times interesting comes up that is useful to me for my own self discovery process and practice, and also that I can use to express to others that might be helpful to them. So a lot going on in these videos, a lot going on in preparing for them, and in coming up with the topics. It allows me actually to the environment that I'm in, the room that I'm in now, and the setup with the camera and everything. It becomes sort of like an empowered type of environment, because I'm talking about self-discovery topics like letting go, which I'll get back to here in a second. So it's just something I learned from my own teacher, and I've been practicing for many years, and it's I'm always learning something different every time I do one of these videos. A lot going on, like I said. And getting back to that short run, or it was actually over 5 miles today. It was also walking. There are openings, as I expressed in other videos. These openings, I think, are really everywhere, but it's up to us to kind of take advantage of it. And sometimes our power is up, and we can notice these kind of openings to higher awareness. We can shift into it if we are able to bring our focus to bear, to be able to see the type of openings. It has a really good feel to it, an exciting feel to it, and something that we can kind of flow into. So mindfulness practice and meditation practice, in my mind, they go hand in hand, and they have a lot of similarities, and they really are very important, because what we generate in our mindfulness practice, which is basically 24 hours a day, including the dream plane, which I'll briefly touch on. In our mindfulness practice, there's a certain amount of letting go that occurs there, and that's something that we can use also in meditation practice, to be able to still ourselves, stay calm, stay relaxed. So when we notice something kind of interesting, kind of powerful, like for instance on a run or something I pass by a cactus, I hear a bird, a particular sound that the bird is making, something I tap into a little bit of the energy of that sound and of that bird. It brings me into the present. It helps me stay alert, and this is also involved with letting go and not being taken away by errant thoughts and extraneous thinking of some sort. So in regards to also focus, when I'm noticing that I'm in a certain amount of higher awareness, I'm being able to take my focus and my attention and keep it very tight and very much on point, so that I can pick up whatever might be happening. As a perceiver, there's no telling what each of us can do in regards to our level of perception. And I do look at each of us as my fellow perceivers, and we each are working on our perception and on tightening up our life and on our practice, and bringing all these different components that I will continue to talk about in a certain level of alignment. Also, we're learning how to consolidate energy properly, and when we know we're losing energy, talk about the energy bucket, that we can patch up these holes in our energy bucket where we're losing energy or we're being drained somehow, drained by other people, drained by ourselves. So everything adds up, so that when we, in our state of attention and our focus, we'll be able to take advantage of any openings that might come up. Some of these openings I'm suggesting when I'm on a run, when we're on a walk in nature or whatever. And also what happens when in meditation, deep meditation, when we notice these subtle, powerful currents, actually, that can take us somewhere. The openings when we're in our mindfulness practice can take us somewhere. The openings in our meditation practice can take us somewhere into these higher dimensions, and happiness and knowledge. Knowledge can be imparted to us in all sorts of settings. That's why I'm tying this in a little bit here, that how important mindfulness and meditation practice are to each other. They go hand in hand and they tie in, and some of these ways that I'm briefly touching on. The dream plane is another opportunity. It's part of our mindfulness practice, actually, when we're asleep. It can be a fun type of practice, if depending on how aware we are and when we're dreaming. If we there's a certain amount of lucid dreams, but I'm talking about building up over time, over a practice, over years actually, on our state of attention, how focused we are when it comes to dreaming. If we notice something is a little bit off, the energy is not that bright and happy, it's kind of dull maybe, or kind of gray, we can do something about it if we're aware, if we're paying attention within the dream. And we can bring our attention to something very happy, something. That's another reason during the day in our mindfulness practice that we want to do things that are very positive, very happy, and we work hard, of course, on our careers and our creative activities and relationships. But everything counts. Everything adds up. So in a dream plane, because of what we did in our daily activity, how we reacted in a dream plane is noticeable, and it becomes more noticeable that we can. In regards to shifting, we can shift our awareness into something much brighter and happier if we notice something is kind of negative or kind of going south, you might say. And that's a topic for another time in another video, but I wanted to bring it up. And there's a certain amount of letting go that happens in the dream plane too, to be able to stay calm and focused. And if it's done right, and when you're dreaming, you will wake up refreshed in the morning. It's not it's something that is on another kind of level. It's in the astral, which we'll talk about more in other videos also. Dreaming is a lot going. There's all sorts of types of dreaming, and I can mention some things that I'm aware of and from my own practice. But I want to make sure I'm staying on topic with the letting go. There's just letting go that can happen in the dream plane. If there is enough letting go, enough calmness and happiness, we can actually find ourselves in the dreamless state, which is there's a knowingness about being in the dreamless state. It's also, we know that we didn't dream that particular night, It's a deeper type of awareness, type of level of awareness that we can work on. And it has some, it also could lead to some very interesting and deep things. So there's a letting go that actually involves with us feeling more of luminosity seeping into us in the dreamless state. It's a precursor to even a deeper immersion into light, which I've talked a little bit about in other videos and will continue to talk about. To say a little bit more about letting go, there's a deep letting go that I notice in our being. It's something that happens actually deeper in our being when we go deeper into our practice, especially into our meditation practice. So that type of letting go is different than the kind of letting go that I'm talking about, although they're very similar. It's something beyond our control. This deep letting go that just the being just kind of lets go. It's something, it's just an interesting thing that I know about directly. And we'll mention it in other videos, having to do with immersion in light. So if we're practicing and we have an inclination and passion for going deeper, progressively deeper in our practice, and touching on to more and more light, happiness, and higher knowledge, and have the proper intent, and a bunch of other things that I'll continue to talk about, these other components, there's some very interesting things that can happen in our practice. That is very exciting and a lot of fun. So I will continue to talk about that. So I'm wondering, seeing if I want to say anything more about letting go. I can see that probably do another video on this. But the letting go that I feel that we do have control over, to a certain extent, is some things I've mentioned already, and it's something to be aware of, and really in every moment. That when we're reactive sometimes with other people, or for whatever, or in a situation that's somewhat negative or something, we pay attention to what's going on. There's patterns involved with that. They have to do with us. And we can see these patterns. Recognition is very important. Observation, but it's very active actually, and purposeful. But this, we can notice things about our inner patterns that are reactive that has to do with letting go. So if instead of, if we notice we're being reactive, that can be a very powerful thing to notice, and we can use that to our advantage to help us be less reactive, because when we're reactive, we lose energy, and we need every drop of energy actually to go deeper in both our mindfulness and meditation practice. So I can see there's many more things to say about letting go, and I will definitely be creating another video. I feel I better create another video on this to go over it in a different way and make sure I didn't miss some key points. So it looks like I'm briefly have gone over this idea about letting go, which I feel is just so important and so key to our self-discovery practice. So thank you for staying attentive with this video, and wish you much success with your practice. Thank you.